Emily is driving a car and talking to her boyfriend when the film begins. While talking, the mobile signal goes out and the screen cracks. Lee and Mike have invited some of their friends to their house for Thanksgiving dinner. Beth is there with her husband, Hugh, when Emily arrives at Lee's house. Emily discovers that her friend Amir is bringing his girlfriend Lori, who is actually Emily's boyfriend, Kevin's ex-girlfriend, and this group of friends dislikes Lori. Kevin eventually joins them, and Amir and Lori arrive at the end. Everyone is eating in a nice atmosphere, and the topic of their conversation is Miller's comet that will pass by the Earth tonight. Emily is also knowledgeable about comets. She explains that the comet last flew over Finland in 1923. When it passed, it caused many people to go to the wrong houses, become disoriented, and forget where they were. She tells about a woman who reported to the police that the man in her home was not her husband. When the police arrived, they discovered that it was her husband, but the woman claimed that she had murdered her husband the night before. No one believed her because her husband was present right there. During these discussions, the power goes out, so everyone goes outside with glowing sticks, and they also see the comet pass by in the sky. 2 blocks away, they notice lights. Hugh needs to call his brother because all of their phones are broken and the internet is down. He explains that his brother had instructed him to contact him if anything unusual occurred during the comet's passage. Hugh decides to pay a visit to the house and attempt to contact his brother, but Beth will not let him go alone, so Amir joins Hugh. They are all waiting for Hugh and Amir to return when a loud noise shakes the entire house, scaring them all. Kevin rushes to the door with a baseball bat, but there is no one there. When Mike turns on the generator, the house lights up. They decide to form a group and go look for Hugh and Amir. Hugh and Amir return just as the doorbell rings. Hugh has a head injury that has everyone concerned and asking what happened there. Hugh is unaware that Amir has brought a white box with him and is angry at Amir for picking it up from the house. Mike attempts and succeeds in opening the box. This box contains a ping-pong table and photographs of all 8 of them, which shocks them. They are all very concerned at this point. Everyone asks Hugh what he saw, and he says he knocked on the front door, but no one answered, so he peered through the side window and saw a house that looked exactly like Mike's. Everyone else, except Hugh, was present. Nobody believes him. Hugh writes a note to prove his point to the residents of that house. Then, unexpectedly, someone appears outside the house and leaves with a note on the door. The writing and words on this note are identical to those on Hugh's note. They are now attempting to decipher the numbers written on the back of the pictures, but they are unable to do so. Hugh's wound is bandaged by Lee and Beth. Amir claims that this photo was taken today at Lee's house, but surprisingly, no one took Amir's picture. Everyone is exhausted from the day, so they all get up to have a drink. Emily explains to Kevin that the numbers on the back of the photographs are in her handwriting. Everyone agrees, except Emily, when Mike decides to go to the house and see for himself. But when she sees Lori leave, she prepares herself as well. They take a blue glow stick with them. Mike rushes towards this house in surprise, because it looks exactly like his. Everyone else tells him this isn't his home. Then there is a sudden sound of someone approaching, and they leave from there. But along the way, they come across figures who look exactly like them. These figures are holding red glow sticks. When they see this, they become terrified and flee to their home. When they get home and tell the others become concerned as well. Emily also explains that there is a strange zone that is much darker than the rest of the area. Amir and Hugh claim to have arrived at the house via the same road. Emily inquires of Mike whether he has any books on quantum theory at home, but he responds that he is an actor and does not have such books. Then Beth informs Hugh that his brother Brian has left a book at their residence. Beth wanted to post the book but was unable to do so, and it is now in Hugh's car. Hugh and Kevin take the book from the car. The book is called Gravity. Brian is a teacher, so there are notes on decoherence and Schrodinger's cat for his class. Schrodinger's cat is a theoretical experiment in which a cat is locked in a poison box with a 50-50 chance of being alive or dead. However, Brian contends that, according to quantum theory, both realities exist concurrently. When the box is opened, reality will crumble. Another of Brian's theories holds that 2 states continue to exist separately and are decoherent from each other, with the realities of each state differing depending on the outcome. Quantum decoherence prevents the 2 realities from interacting. But now the question is what will happen next, because they have already collapsed on each other. Mike panics and declares that he loves his life so much that he will kill everyone in the alternate reality. But no one is happy with this. Kevin believes that if the people from other realities haven't yet received the book, if they steal it from Hugh's car, they won't be aware of the theory and will all be safe. Hugh, on the other hand, refuses to hand over his car keys to Mike. Mike has an idea and tells Kevin about it. Kevin says he will blackmail Mike from the other house so that the others can't get to the book. Kevin objects to Mike's plan and prevents him from carrying it out, but Mike wants to keep the book out of reach of that house, in any case. Lori suspects that the other housemates are violent and have a dark side to them. Lee, who had gone to rest for a while, arrives during their conversation. She informs everyone that she is not feeling any better, possibly as a result of the ketamine drops. Everyone looks at Beth when they hear this, but Beth claims that she gave Lee some drops at Lee's request. Emily asks Beth if she didn't put ketamine in their food, which is causing their hallucinations. However, Beth displays the vial and informs them that she only gave a few drops to Lee with her permission, but the bottle was not completely filled, and the medicine was consumed in excess. Hugh agrees with Emily. He believes that even if one person takes and consumes the entire bottle, they will not experience such a hallucination. Beth swears she never tainted anyone's food and would never do so without their consent. Beth then asks Lee about a lovely vase she recently purchased. Emily is surprised to see this because Beth had previously inquired about the vase. Hugh and Amir, on the other hand, meet and inspect the glowing stick boxes. They have red glow sticks, whereas this house has an unopened box of red glow sticks. They realize they are not attached to this house. Meanwhile, Mike walks into the house. When Kevin asks Mike where he went, he says he went to another house to drop off the litter. Hugh and Amir, meanwhile, take Brian's book and the white box of photos. Mike tells Kevin that he threw the letter there and wait for their reaction. Kevin inquires how long it took, and Mike responds that it took about 45 minutes, but Kevin claims they spoke in the kitchen 5 to 10 minutes ago. Mike ignores him and goes to get a drink. The focus then shifts to Hugh and Amir's absence. They believe they went to return the box, but the book is also missing. Lori claims that they must be from another house, because they've been acting strangely since they arrived, but Beth is skeptical. Kevin wants to go find them, but Emily won't let him, because she thinks it's stupid. Hugh and Amir have taken all of their evidence, so they are concerned. Beth asks Lee to stay with Mike and keep an eye on him. Lee claims that this is not the man she married, because Mike has stopped drinking has changed. Emily collects the pictures again to match the numbers with the pictures, and writes the numbers that she has already noted down behind them. Meanwhile, Lori meets Kevin alone and discusses Emily with him. She also kisses Kevin, but he leaves because he is loyal to Emily. Beth goes to Emily and tells her she was right, that everything happens for a reason, and gives her some insight into Lori and Kevin. Lee approaches Mike and calms him down with some light conversation. Emily, on the other hand, runs into Kevin and casually inquires about Lori, what they were discussing in a dark corner. Kevin tries to clear up her confusion, but the lights go out because the generator is turned off. Just then, there's a loud knock on the door outside, and they all rush out to check with the blue glow stick, only to discover that Hugh's car window is broken. Emily walks over to her car, pulls out a ring, and puts it on. When she hears a knock and looks out the window, she sees Kevin and tells him she came to wear the ring he gave her. Emily asks if anything is missing from Hugh's car, but Kevin appears oblivious. They both realize they are not from the same reality. When she gets home, everyone wonders why the people in the alternate reality would want to break Hugh's car window when they know the book isn't there. Everyone now believes that the comet has caused a schism in their realities. They hear a noise outside and see someone approaching the house, which makes everyone nervous. Kevin checks and discovers that Hugh and Amir have returned with blue glowing sticks, indicating that they are from their reality. They have also returned the book. Hugh is telling them the story, and everyone is wondering why he is telling it again, when he has already told it. He had previously visited and brought the box with. Hugh's wound was similarly bandaged. Lee claims that the bandage she made was unique. Amir explains that the other participants were holding glowing red sticks. When Emily asks Hugh if he wrote the note, he says no, there were two. Emily shows him the two notes, explaining that one was written by Hugh, and the other was discovered on the door. The question now is, if neither of the Hughes sent the second note, who did? Lori suggests that they mark their house because, contrary to their expectations, there are multiple realities. They use the dice as well as the pictures with their numbers written on the back when deciding on a sign to mark. However, this has also occurred in another reality. Everyone places their photos in the box. Amir's picture is taken because he does not have one. Lee returns with another box that is identical to the previous one, and they all place a small object with pictures as signs. The previous numbers are different when Emily checks them at Lee's request. She informs Mike that everyone except Lee and Beth, as well as Amir and Hugh, are a visitor. Emily informs Mike that anyone who passes through the dark area is lost in another reality and does not return to their own. They'll be stuck there forever if they don't find their way home before the comet passes. Mike believes that even if they go there, they will most likely be unable to return to their original reality, so they should stop there. When there is a knock on the door, everyone is afraid that a new disaster has arrived. Hugh opens the door and discovers a note from Mike to Mike. Hugh discovers a note about Mike and Beth. Kevin explains that Mike made a stupid suggestion to keep Mike from taking the book from the alternate reality. Mike is tempted to call it a lie, but when Beth's nose begins to bleed, Hugh realizes there is some truth to it. Beth had assumed Mike would have informed Hugh of this, but nothing had happened. Mike and Beth had an affair 12 years ago. Meanwhile, Mike informs Hugh that Beth is not his true wife because she is a visitor here. Hugh becomes enraged and severely beats Mike. Emily sneaks out of the house and heads to the dark area during all of this. She explores various realities until she finds one in which she and Kevin are content and happy. She sneaks into the back of the house, takes Beth's ketamine bottle, and then smashes Hugh's car window. When everyone in the house leaves, she is certain Emily will come to her car, and this is exactly what happens. When Emily arrives at her car, Emily from the other reality knocks her unconscious with ketamine, takes out the ring, and walks away. She eventually notices Emily from the same reality, crawling into the bathroom. She goes so far as to pick up a flash tank lid and hit this reality's Emily on the head, knocking her unconscious and laying her in the bathtub in order to achieve her dream world. She faints and collapses when she comes out. When she awakens the next morning, she wonders if everything has returned to normal since the comet has passed. She goes to the restroom to check, hoping to alleviate her fear. Everything is also normal there. When she walks out of the house, Kevin greets her cheerfully and hands her the ring that had fallen in the bathroom the night before, indicating that everything is fine. Kevin is shocked when he receives a phone call. He tells Emily that he's getting a call from her number, and the movie ends.